Hi, I'm Simon.
And I'm John, and we are Cathexis Labs. We're developing IoT and data analytics solutions to help food businesses track waste throughout their supply chain. Now, food waste is a big problem. I'm sure you're all somewhat familiar with it. It's also a big market opportunity. We know this because I used to work in the industry, and now we're taking much of what I've learned, combining it with Simon's hardware development experience, and are using it to develop tools that help food businesses predict, track, and prevent waste before it occurs. And we're doing this because this is a really expensive problem. We throw out $218 billion of food each year. That's almost 6 Harvard endowments dumped in the trash. That is insane. And this waste also takes up a really big physical footprint. It's 63 million tons that we dump in our trash and our landfills every single year. That's like 1,200 Titanics year over year over year. Now, when people think about food waste, it's pretty commonly understood that this is a consumer problem, right? At least that's what folks think. And that's true to some extent. There's actually more waste by volume that happens here in the supply chain before food actually gets to consumers. And this is what we're developing our solutions for, to prevent spoilage throughout the chain as food moves from farms to retailers. So months ago, as we started our research and product development process, we went to the start of the chain, to farms. And we learned that while farms generate a good amount of waste, very little comes from spoilage. Most farm waste looks like this. You never really see a carrot that handsome at the grocery store because they're left to rot in the fields. So waste, yes, spoilage, no. So we moved on. We then spent time interviewing dozens of industry executives in the retail space, as well as talking to on-the-ground produce folks, because we believed that the problem was here in retail. Shelves are overflowing and they're beautiful and they look like that. There had to be spoilage here. But what we learned is that stores are really good at managing procurement and turnover, so spoilage isn't that much of a problem. A low volume store gets 5 deliveries of produce a week, and a high volume store will get deliveries twice a day, 7 days a week. So product just doesn't spend enough time on the shelves for it to go bad there. But this is still a problem. And this is a problem that the industry has been reckoning with for a while. And this question still stands. And what's more, the industry doesn't really yet have an answer. People aren't really certain where all of this waste is occurring. Now, what we know from talking to all of these industry experts is that it's not at the farm level and it's not at the retail level. But the question remains, well, where is it?
We believe that produce spoilage occurs here, in the chilly confines of cold storage warehouses. An average shipment of produce will travel to 3 to 5 of these facilities before they make it to the grocery store. Now, quality is a main driver of this industry, but managing for it can be really tough. There's no shared infrastructure for tracking or sharing information about where food has been, so managers in this industry are stuck making decisions based on visual inspection and the expiration date. These are terrible metrics, and they lead to accidental spoilage. And while managers care about this spoilage, there's limited things that they can do about it. Our solution is pretty simple. Grab a wider variety of data across each link in the supply chain. By grabbing and compiling this information, we can produce intelligent, actionable information to each link in the supply chain, allowing them to reduce produce spoilage, increase product turnover, and ultimately boost their bottom line. Now, as consumers, you should care about this situation and you should demand a solution for this problem. The giant costs of industrial food waste is baked into the price that you pay at the grocery store. Consumers essentially subsidize food spoilage. And we see giant industry players pushing in this direction as well. Amazon has just purchased Whole Foods, as I'm sure you saw in the news, to create a grocery store and logistics super player. Walmart has tapped IBM to do predictive analytics throughout their supply networks. These guys are harnessing the power of big data to create a tsunami of change in this industry, and the other players are scared about this. Now, not only do Amazon and Whole Foods and Walmart with IBM's help have vertically integrated supply chains, they have visibility of their product as it moves throughout their entire network. This allows them to be really, really efficient and drive down costs. If you're one of these other players who rely on a disconnected supply chain, you're at a huge critical disadvantage here. Our solution is to create a centralized database to track food information from packaging through transport and into warehousing, giving these companies the insights that Walmart has. Each of these players have a financial incentive to work with us, and doing so boosts supply chain trust, corporate image, as well as improving their environmental impact. We'll grab data with devices that install directly into shipments of produce. These devices connect directly to the cloud and collect information about location, temperature, humidity, and off-gassing. Off-gassing is the gas that's given off as a product decays, like CO2 and methane. Now, as we continue to grab more and more of this information, we believe that we can do predictive analytics, allowing these companies to make really smart decisions ahead of time. We also see a play in anonymizing data and distributing it to the entire industry so that they can benchmark their progress and improve as a result. We have a lot of work to do on our hardware development before we reach the industry, but we're going through those refinements now, and we're looking for an industrial partner to allow us to test their hardware throughout the supply chain. After that, we'll go to a wider beta and continue refinement. We're Cathexis Labs. We're really excited about this solution because it sits at the intersections of social, environmental, and economic sustainability. If you're part of the food industry, or you just want to come and talk to us about food, come and see us after the show. Thank you.